Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I finally managed to get my hands on that second teaser that was released yesterday. So without further ado, let's give it a watch. Okay, so we start off with a green. Ooh.
The Dark One is waking.
A new pairing.
But there will be one who can stand against him, and it's one of you.
One of us,
she lets them
the
know
dragon,
that the dragon
reborn. The most powerful channeler that ever lived.
Every prophecy is the same. The dragon will either defeat the Dark One or join him. I'll kill them myself before I let him up.
Wow.
The Wheel of Time.
Wow. This is quite a lot of changes and differences from the books in that. That's really interesting. A lot of cool shots in there. We've got new shots of Matt. We've got new shots of Perrin. We've got a new look at, I believe, Camelin. I don't know, a town. Maybe it could be Tar Valon. From some of the shots we've seen previously, or the photos I should say, there's a similar sort of look and feel to them. And then we get what I think is obviously the biggest takeaway from that is the fight between the Aiel and the soldier from Ilion. But before we get into this in-depth breakdown, if you are new around here, consider subscribing, because I know a lot of you guys that do watch my videos aren't actually subscribed. It's about 60% of you that aren't, and I would greatly appreciate it if you could do that. Right, let's get on into this breakdown of this 30-second teaser. Yeah, really cool. Nice little thing. So the interesting thing when I look at this Shadar Logoth scene, if it is to be Shadar Logoth, and I say Shadar Logoth for like a couple of reasons. It's obviously very much dark for starters. It's run down. Looking at the bricks on the walls and the statues, they haven't been cleaned in quite a long time, I would say. And of course, these statues look very similar to all the Shadar Logoth, photos that we've seen to date. But then I get a little bit confused because there's torches and lights on the wall, not lights, but flames on the wall. They've been lit, and that's either been done by them, I would presume, while they've been traveling through Shadar Logoth, or it's not Shadar Logoth, I think, because that place has been long abandoned. But yeah, I think just from looking at it, I would say just initially it is Shadar Logoth again. But yeah, the scene with Matt as well is really cool. You can pretty much see Rand is right there to the left of him as well, with his bow and arrow and his red hair. So this is an interesting one to me so I think this photo, or this shot of Rand and Matt, they're most likely actually in Tar Valon at this point in time. I don't know why I say that, but just going off some of the photos we've seen previously of Tar Valon that got leaked in like the market area, it looks quite similar to that, but perhaps it's another place and I'm completely wrong on that point. It could be, for example, Camelin. Could be one of the other smaller cities that they travel to in the first book. So yeah, it's interesting. We've always thought, because there's been no Elaine for season 1, that would automatically mean they don't travel through Camelin. Because what's the point going to Camelin if you don't have Elaine in there? But perhaps they have gone. Or perhaps just it is simply Tar Valon, and that's what we're seeing here. What else? We've got like a very quick glimpse of Perrin, and he looks to be, it's either someone a little bit shorter than him and like they're very close to him in this little shot. And yeah, I would say it has to be that. I mean, horses aren't in general shorter than humans, are they? They're taller than us. From just my memory and thinking about it off the top of my head. So yeah, that's a very interesting shot about what's going on there. We get another look at what looks to be Shadar Logoth just before Yeah, I would say most definitely it's an abandoned city because nobody is out there. But then there's these little torches that have been lit all along the walls of the walk. Interesting. I don't know what to make of that actually. Then we've got Matt saying, "You think one of us is a dragon reborn? The most powerful channeler on the planet that ever lived," excuse me. Then we've got actually quite an interesting shot of Moiraine in the White Tower with the a reeve. But notice the last shot, she's in a white outfit. So this could be another one of those shots of her when she's what was it, in the main trailer, where she is pretty much right at the beginning. Again, we see the two different shots of her in Tar Valon in like what we would presume to be present day, and then this shot along with the one in the beginning of the trailer itself perhaps could be her having her raised to Aes Sedai, because we do know we're getting quite a lot of flashbacks, and that comes from also one of the leaked images that I haven't even talked about on the channel. There's like 30 or so of them, and in one of those is a flashback with Moiraine, and you can quite clearly make out it's, you know, from back in the day from the past. It's not in present day from what was in the photo. Then we get another look at Rand and the Green holding hands. This is most certainly in Shadar Logoth once again. We've seen this clip in multiple sorts of little teasers, a very wide angle, which you can see they're in Shadar Logoth in the day, which I do love. I'm loving the fact that we're going to get both kind of a night and day sequence in Shadar Logoth. I was really hoping it wouldn't just be in the dark. I think we'll have like a transition into darkness, and that's how they're going to play out Shadar Logoth. Then we get a monologue with Siobhan, where she states the dragon will either defeat the Dark One or join him, which is interesting in itself. Again, I wonder who she could be talking to. I would definitely say it's someone very close to her, most likely Moiraine, because as we know, they keep the existence of the dragon very much under wraps to begin with, because they don't want that to, you know, get out. So she'll only be telling people that she has complete trust and faith in them not to spill the beans. And then right after that, we get the huge scene between the Aiel and I would say most likely now, spoilers, before I get into this any further for this particular portion, we are going into major spoilers on certain plot points and characters. So if you have not read the series, I would suggest skipping forward. I will leave a time link once I finish talking for you to skip ahead to, so you can continue watching the video without having anything spoiled. So you've been warned. Right, so as I was saying, this is another look at the scene on the bottom of Dragonmount between an Aiel and of course a member of the Ilian army, and most likely we've all kind of come to the conclusion it's one of the companions, which I think is really cool. And people were speculating this could be Tam and Shail, but from now looking at this particular shot, I don't necessarily think it is Tam, because, well, for one, we see him get absolutely skewered in the next shot by the Aiel, who, interestingly enough, isn't even veiled, which I find, you know, interesting. I wonder why that is, because obviously when they go into battle, they always, you know, veil up, put their shufra up. And then we see a much clearer shot of the woman piking this warrior through the chest, right underneath the protective piece of armor he's got. So yeah, as you can tell, you can't have protective armor all over your whole body because it's going to be cumbersome and not be able to move. But interestingly, look right in the background, there's a second Ilian soldier, a second companion member Now that's 2 different people we've seen. So perhaps if we take into isolation both of these scenes that we've seen with the Aiel and the 2 companions, these could be different shots. This could be her killing this particular member of the companions, and that guy in the background could be the person we see this Aiel kind of yeet out of the air. And so that could be what was going on here, because in that scene they look to be a little bit closer to the actual mountain than they are in this scene. So that could potentially be what's going on in that particular sequence. And as we all know, we know what is going on here and what will be happening here, which I think is really cool to see. I wasn't particularly sure whether we would get that, but to see now that we are in fact most likely going to be getting that, I think is absolutely fantastic and amazing that it's going to be on the show. So yeah, really, really cool. Next we've got more shots that we've already seen of Alan and Moraine, and of course the Fade as well. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up this 30-second teaser that we've gotten. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous really when you think about it. We're literally nearly 10 days away now. It's more like 12, 13 days away from watching the show. And for those lucky enough, it is now under 10 days. It's 9 days and 10 days for certain members of the community, which is absolutely cool for those guys. But yeah, it's really cool. It seems like the marketing is every single day there's something new happening. There's either a new competition, new members of the community getting the chance to go to the premiere, which is awesome. So yeah, they've really picked up the marketing. I'm just hoping I get to see some sort of billboard in London at some point. Maybe around Leicester Square or Trafalgar Square. That would be really cool. Or just in general more nearer to myself. I'd love to see that. But yeah, anyway guys, you've made it to the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed the breakdown. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like as well on the video, as it greatly helps it in the algorithm. And of course, as always, leave any comments on these scenes that I've discussed in the video. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Yeah, thank you for watching everyone, and I'll catch you all in another video.